Listen up, folks. If you think that dark oil in your engine means it's shot, I've got news for you. Today, you're going to find out why oil color isn't the villain of the story, and how this little gadget here is going to show you the truth nobody's telling you. Stick with me till the end because I'm going to run a live test that's going to blow your mind. And if you're into real content about car maintenance, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell because this video is going to completely change how you take care of your ride. Let's cut straight to the chase. Everybody knows you got to change your oil, right? Either by mileage or by time. But there's something crazy that happens with automakers that drives me up the wall. Take the Renegade with the turbo 1.3L engine, for example. Jeep says change the oil at 7,500 miles or 1 year. Now hold that thought. The exact same engine, identical. When it's in a Fiat, the recommendation drops to 6,200 miles. It's the same freaking engine, people. Same Stellantis group, same tech, but different recommendations. Go figure, right? But hey, before we keep going, drop a comment. Have you ever gone past the recommended mileage for an oil change? Be honest, we're not here to judge. Share your experience down below. I read every single comment. Now let's talk about something a lot of people get totally wrong. Severe duty versus normal duty. You probably think severe duty is only for people who drive like maniacs or race on the street, right? Well, you're dead wrong. Severe duty is actually the opposite. You know that commute you do every day to work? 6 miles in city traffic, stop and go, red lights, gridlock, honking. You get to work, turn off the car, boom, you just used your car in severe duty mode. Surprised? Yeah, man, most people are. Severe duty happens when the car doesn't reach ideal operating temperature. When you drive short trips, when you're stuck in that hellish city traffic, it's the worst case scenario for your oil. So if you drive like this, forget that recommendation to change at 6,000 or 7,500 miles. Cut it in half, bro. 3,000, maybe 3,500 miles max. Your engine will thank you down the road. Now, if you're one of those people who hits the highway, maintains steady speed, racks up real mileage, then yeah, the oil holds up better. That's normal use. But let's be real here. How many of us actually use our cars like that day to day? Not many, right? And here's a question I want you to answer honestly. When was the last time you checked your dipstick? Last week? Last month? Last year? Never. If you're on team never, my friend, you're playing with fire. Literally. You need to check your oil level weekly. That's right, every week. Sound like overkill? It's not. Some cars burn through oil like crazy. And before you freak out, relax. Burning oil is normal, especially in turbo engines. These 3-cylinder engines especially, don't even get me started. They're designed from the factory to consume a bit of oil. You won't see smoke from the tailpipe. No need to panic. It's normal operation for modern engineering. But listen up now, because this tip right here is pure gold. When you check the dipstick, you gotta know how to read those marks. Most dipsticks have a minimum and maximum. Some have the letters L for low and F for full. Others just have little notches or marks. But the secret isn't just that. Here's the info nobody tells you that can save you from making a stupid mistake. If your dipstick is right in the middle between min and max, you need about 8 to 10 ounces of oil to top it off to max. Got it? Not 2 quarts, not 1 quart. It's like a can of soda's worth of oil. Lots of people think if the stick's in the middle, you've lost half your oil. The car takes 4 quarts, you lost 2. Nope, that's not how it works. Now, if the dipstick is down at the minimum mark right at that L, you're going to need about 16 ounces, half a quart. And if it's way down at the tip of the stick, not even registering, then things have gotten ugly. You can safely add a full quart, maybe even 40 ounces. But if it's gotten to that point, buddy, you've already let it go way too far. Let me ask you another question before we continue. When you pull the dipstick to check, do you worry about the oil color? Drop a comment. Do you freak out when you see black oil? because I'm about to tell you a secret that's going to change your life. Dark oil color doesn't mean it's bad. Hold up, don't go running off to change your oil just because it's dark. The oil color depends on what fuel you use. If you fill up with regular gas, the oil's going to get darker. Why? Because of the carbon buildup that happens when gas burns. It's pure chemistry, my friend. Gas creates carbon deposits, leaves residue, and that residue darkens the oil. It's normal, expected part of the process. Now, if you're running E85 or higher ethanol blends, the oil stays lighter. Ethanol is a cleaner burning fuel, doesn't carbon up as much. The combustion is different, leaves less residue. So, if you look at the dipstick from a car running E85 versus one running regular gas, both with 600 miles on them, you're going to see a massive difference in color. The E85 one will still be almost golden, and the gas one will already be darkening up. Check out the oil in my Tucson here. 600 miles on it, all regular gas. See that color? Already starting to darken, but totally normal. If I'd been running straight E85, it'd be way lighter, but the color doesn't worry me. You know why? Because I've got this little gadget right here. This is an oil acidity tester. This is where the magic happens, folks. Because oil color might fool your eyes, but acidity doesn't lie. Oil gets acidic as it gets used, as the molecules break down, as it loses its properties. And this gadget measures exactly that.
It has a scale from 1 to 10, up to level 7. The oil's perfect. Drive at 8 and 9. Acidity's climbing. The oil's starting to lose effectiveness. At 10, it's maximum alert. Doesn't mean the oil's destroyed, but it's a warning that you're hitting the limit and need to plan the change. You can still drive, but don't push it much longer. Now, I'm going to run the test live with you guys. First, we power on the device. It's going to auto-calibrate. See that? Start it flashing min and max. That means it's calibrating, getting ready to take the reading. Cool. Stop flashing. Now I'm going to get some oil from the dipstick here. Check it out. I'm going to put it right in the center of this sensor. Got to cover the sensor completely for an accurate reading. There we go. It's got two options, gas or diesel. In our case, it's gas. So I'm selecting that. Now, just hit the test button and wait. Look, Hachi, that lit up the first bar, meaning the acidity is at the minimum possible. The oil's perfect. Zero stress. Makes total sense because this oil only has 600 miles on it. You saw the color is already starting to darken, but the acidity is at 0. That proves color isn't the indicator you should use to decide when to change your oil. I'm going to run the test again to confirm. Always good to do. 2 readings to be sure. Clean the sensor, grab fresh oil from the stick. Same reading. First bar. Perfect. Reading was identical, so you can trust it. Here's my plan. I'm going to run this test every 600 miles and show you guys how the oil acidity evolves over the life of the oil. We're going to find out together at what mileage the acidity actually starts climbing. Is it gradual? Does it spike suddenly at some point? This is going to be real data, not guesswork. And I want you along for this journey. Every update I do, I'll show the test results. We're going to track this scientifically. And in the end, we'll know for sure if those manufacturer recommendations are conservative, spot hand, or cutting it too close. Some people are going to ask, dude, why go through all this? Just follow what the manual says and call it a day. Look, I get it, but here's the thing. Knowledge is power. Understanding what's actually happening in your engine gives you control. Plus, driving habits vary like crazy. Someone who does mostly highway miles isn't using their oil the same way someone stuck in LA traffic 5 days a week is. This test is going to give us real-world data based on actual severe duty use. City driving, short trips, lots of idling. That's what most of us do. So the results are going to be way more relevant than some laboratory test under ideal conditions that nobody actually drives in. And speaking of severe duty, let me break down exactly what that means in practical terms. Severe duty includes Trips under 5 miles when outside temp is below freezing. Trips under 10 miles in normal temps. Extended idling, like sitting in your car with it running for long periods. Dusty or muddy conditions. Towing a trailer. Stop and go traffic. Add up how many of those apply to your daily driving. For most people, pretty much all of them at some point. That's why I'm saying, if you're an average driver doing typical city commuting, you're in severe duty territory. Act accordingly with your maintenance. The crazy thing is, most people don't even know about the severe duty schedule. They buy the car, the dealer hands them the manual, they maybe flip through it once, and that's it. They follow whatever the salesman told them or what they read online. Meanwhile, the manual has 2 completely different maintenance schedules and they're following the wrong one. I've seen engines with sludge buildup at 30,000 miles because the owner was changing oil every 7,500 miles in severe duty conditions. They thought they were doing the right thing. The manual said 7,500 miles for normal use, but buried on page 147, tiny print, it says if you drive in severe conditions, cut that in half. Who reads page 147? That's the kind of BS that makes me want to throw this info out there. Because mechanics know this stuff, but a lot of them don't bother explaining it to customers. They either assume you know, or frankly, some of them are happy to let you run your oil too long so they can sell you a new engine later. Cynical, maybe. But I've been in this game long enough to see how it works. Anyway, back to our testing. I'm genuinely curious to see the progression. Is there going to be a point where the acidity jumps from level 2 straight to level 8? Or is it going to climb gradually, one level at a time? We don't know yet, and that's what makes this interesting. And for those wondering if this tester is accurate, yeah, it is. It's the same tech that Quick Lube places use when they try to upsell you on an oil change. Except when they use it, they're usually trying to scare you into changing perfectly good oil. When you use it yourself, you get the real story. These testers run about 50 to 70 bucks online. Not expensive at all. If you're someone who likes to know what's up with your car, who wants actual data instead of guessing, it's totally worth it. One-time purchase. Use it for years. Now let's talk about oil types real quick, because that's another area where people get confused. You've got conventional, synthetic blend, and full synthetic. What's the difference? Conventional is old school petroleum-based. Full synthetic is lab-made molecules designed for maximum performance. Synthetic blend is a mix of both. For modern engines, especially turbos, you really should be running full synthetic. It handles heat better, flows better, in cold weather, lasts longer, protects better. Yeah, it costs more, maybe 40 bucks instead of 25 for conventional. But you're protecting a $15,000 engine. That extra 15 bucks is the best money you'll spend. Some older cars, especially high mileage ones, actually do better on conventional or synthetic blend. The full synthetic is thinner and can leak past worn seals. So if you've got an old beater with 200,000 miles on it, conventional might be the move. But for anything relatively modern, go synthetic. And pay attention to the weight. That number on the bottle, like 5W30 or OW20, the first number is cold viscosity, the second is hot, lower numbers mean thinner oil. Use what your manual specifies. Don't get creative. Engineers spent millions developing that engine and they specify that weight for a reason. I see people all the time trying to be clever. Oh, I'll run thicker oil to reduce consumption. Or I'll run thinner oil for better fuel economy. Stop. Just stop. Use what the manufacturer says. They know better than you. Trust me on this. Now about brand. Doesn't matter if you use Mobile One versus Pennzoil versus Val. Honestly, not as much as people think. As long as it meets the API certification, those letters like SN or SP that show the quality level, you're good. If it meets spec, you're golden. If it doesn't, don't risk it. The savings can cost you big time. In fact, when you buy oil, check those specs. Every good oil has that info on the bottle. There's the viscosity, like 5W30. There's the API spec, like SN or SP. And there's the ACEA spec, if it's European oil. If the bottle doesn't have this info, be suspicious. Could be sketchy oil. And since we're on the subject, let me talk filters too. No point changing the oil and leaving the old filter. The filter is what removes crud from the oil. If the filter's clogged, the oil doesn't filter right. All that dirt stays circulating through your engine. It's like taking a shower and putting on dirty clothes. Makes zero sense. Always change the filter when you change the oil, and use a good filter from a known brand. Filters are cheap, not worth skimping on. A crappy filter can actually be worse than no filter at all, because it can break apart and clog your oil passages. I've seen engines seize because of garbage filters. Speaking of oil changes, some people do them at home. If you've got the skills and equipment, cool. But if you're gonna do it right. Use a proper filter wrench. Don't drop dirt into the engine. Dispose of used oil correctly. Used oil is super toxic. Can't just dump it in the trash or down the drain. There are collection centers for it. And when choosing where to get it done, get references. Some shops use sketchy oil and charge like it's premium. Some shops don't actually change it. They just top it off. Sad but true. So find a trustworthy place, preferably one recommended by someone you know, worth paying a bit extra at a legit shop than saving money and getting screwed. One tip I'll give you, when you get your oil changed, have them check other stuff too. Look at the belts, hoses, fluid levels, check for leaks anywhere. Sometimes a simple visual inspection catches a problem early before it becomes a major headache. Preventive maintenance is always cheaper than fixing stuff after it breaks. And back to our acidity tester. It costs around 50 bucks, maybe 75. Not expensive. If you're the type who likes to take care of your car, who wants to know exactly what's going on, it's absolutely worth it. Small investment that gives you valuable information. There are other ways to test oil at home too. There's the blotter test. You drop a bit of used oil on filter paper and let it dry. Depending on the size of the stain and the color, you can get an idea of oil condition. Not as precise as the acidity tester, but it helps. Another simple test is the feel test. Grab a bit of oil between your fingers and rub. If you feel gritty particles, like sand, that's a sign there's a lot of dirt suspended in it. Good oil is smooth to the touch, even when it's dark. If it's rough, it's past time to change. But look, nothing replaces following manufacturer recommendations and using common sense. If you're not sure whether the oil is good, change it. Better to change a bit early than a bit late. The cost difference is small, but the difference in engine wear is huge. Now, let me get serious for a second. Car maintenance is an investment, not an expense. Every dollar you spend on preventive maintenance, you save 5 or 10 bucks on repairs down the line. It's simple math. The better you take care of your car, the fewer problems it'll give you and the higher its resale value later. Some people buy a brand new car, drive it 6,000 miles without doing anything, don't even change the oil. Then they sell it after 3 or 4 years, all beat to hell with a ton of problems. And they complain that cars are a ripoff, nothing but money pits. Dude, the problem isn't the car. It's the lack of care. I know people with cars running 125,000 miles smooth as silk. You know why? Because they took care of them. Changed oil on schedule. Did the services, didn't beat on the engine. It's that simple. Well-maintained cars last a long time. And look, I know some people don't have extra cash to spend on maintenance all the time. I get it. Life's expensive. But that's exactly why preventive maintenance matters. An oil change costs maybe $100, $150 depending on your car. Rebuilding an engine costs $8,000 to $12,000. Do the math. Way better to invest a little regularly than drop a fortune all at once And if the budget's tight, prioritize. Oil and filter are top priority. Can't skip those. Other things, you can maybe stretch a bit, but not oil. And you don't need the most expensive oil on the market. Use a good one from a known brand that meets manufacturer's specs. Doesn't have to be top shelf. Another way to save is learning to do some stuff yourself. Changing oil isn't rocket science. If you've got a decent workspace and basic tools, you can handle it. Saves you the labor costs. Just don't forget to dispose of the used oil properly. But getting back to our main test here, this tracking I'm gonna do over the miles is gonna be super revealing. I'm curious to see when the acidity starts climbing. Will it be gradual, or will there be a point where it spikes? Can you really just go by mileage, or are there other factors involved? And I'm gonna be straight with you. If at some point the test shows the oil's bad before the recommended mileage, I'll say so. If it shows you can push it further, I'll say that too. This is about facts, not guessing or pushing products, because there are a lot of channels out there doing disguised advertising. Pushing products, saying you got to change oil every 3,000 miles with that specific oil their sponsor sells. I don't work like that. Here, the commitment is to the truth, to quality info so you can take the best care of your car possible. And since we're wrapping up here, let me say it again. If you found this content useful, if you learned something, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe now. And hit that bell so you don't miss the next tests, because I'm going to keep bringing content at this level. No BS. Straight to the point. And drop a comment. What other tests would you like to see on the channel? Got any questions about car maintenance I can answer? Leave it below. I read everything and respond as much as I can. Your engagement is what makes this channel grow and get better. So that's it, folks. Now you know oil color isn't the best indicator. You know how to check the level correctly? You know the difference between severe duty and normal duty? And you know there are simple tools like this acidity tester that can give you way more accurate info about the real condition of your engine oil. Take care of your car, because it takes care of you. A well-lubricated engine won't leave you stranded. It's safety, it's savings, it's peace of mind, worth every penny invested in preventive maintenance. And if you follow the tips I shared today, your car is gonna run for a long, long time. So, that's all, my friends. Big shout out to everyone watching. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and bell notification on. Peace.